Emergency brake off. Okay. Let's back this bad girl out of the garage.
The new garage is filling up.
That's a good thing.
Although one of those cars will be gone soon.
Which one? Oh, yeah. Well, hello. Welcome, everybody, to Chop Shop Motors. We're doing a hot rod deep dive on our new acquisition, which is a 32 Ford four-door sedan. It's a deluxe, and it's been in the family for about a week.
6 days.
It is a super cool hot rod with a ton of original parts, a whole bunch of traditional parts, built from the best.
We almost hit that golden hour.
The golden hour?
The beautiful sunshine on
Oh,
your face.
yeah. I need all the help I can get.
It's coming your way.
Here I come. Here comes the beautiful sunshine.
Woo!
Sunshine on my shoulder. So I think the car was put together in Northern California. It's gotten some write-ups and stuff, but I don't know much about really who built it. I think it's changed hands a number of times over the last 4 or so years, which is fine because now it's in Chop Shop Motors hands, and that's how we like it.
Yeah, buddy.
So
why don't you tell them how you came across it?
Absolutely. So all these cars end up being someone knows about it and someone tells someone else about it. So this car was owned by a gentleman in Prescott, Arizona, and it was time for him to sell it. So he had another friend of his in Prescott put it on the ham, and it traveled through a bunch of people when we were good guys and we were all looking at it, and it kind of filled the bill for what I was looking for. If you recall, I have a 32 four-door sedan that I bought out of Northern California that's just a gorgeous body, but it's a long way from being done, and I really wanted to have something I could drive it and play with. So I started figuring out, what does that look like? What could I sell? And I'm gonna have to sell everything. I have to get rid of one lung. I have to give blood for like the rest of my life.
Find us on the black market for
I made a deal with the devil. I made even more deals with the wife, and somehow ended up with a 32 four-door sedan in the garage that I can actually do this, which is hop in and drive around the block. It is an interesting combination of original and updated. Some of the paint on the car is original, some of it's been updated. It's got a louvered hood, it's got hydraulic brakes, it's got a small block Chevy in it. It's supposed to be a 265, but I don't think it's a 265. It's supposed to have fuely heads. It doesn't look like it's got fuely heads to me, but that's fine. I'll probably eventually end up building a 327 with real fuely heads on for it, and that's all good and well, but it's not going to be for a while because we're not going to tear it apart. We're going to enjoy it. The car runs good, drives good, has really good manners when it comes to shifting. It's got an original 3-speed with probably like a 40 trans. It shifts really nice, super tight. It's It's got a good gear set in the back. I think it's got
the decor.
354s.
Sorry,
so it's fun. Yeah, it's Christmas time, so it's a beautiful time to drive a hot rod and look at Christmas lights.
So you mentioned the ham.
Uh-huh.
For those who don't know what that is,
Yeah.
what is the ham?
So the ham is the
H-A-M-B.
H-A-M-B. It is the Hokey Ass Message Board is what it stands for, and it was started years ago by probably a group of hot rodders, quite honestly. And it's primarily heavy focus on traditional hot rods and things like that. There's some stuff that's falls into the street rod category, but I would say by and large it's traditional hot rods, which this car fits into. It's on the Jalopy Journal site, and it's a good way to check out this kind of stuff.
And so they have postings for cars for sale. That's what you're saying.
And shameless plug, if you're interested in the 55 F100, the green one that was in the garage, it's on there for sale. So, nice segue. Good job.
So what's now that you've driven it a bit, you've played with it a little bit, I know it's week 1, what's something you like about it? And what's something you're mad about? You're kind of disappointed about?
So, what I like about it is it's a perfect blend for me of traditional old car 32 stuff and a little bit of late model. So it's got a small block Chevy in it, which is, you know, I mean, what a quintessential solution to being able to drive somewhere. And I've got tons of Fords in the garage, but I've built and owned a lot of Chevrolets, and these little motors, I mean, if you weren't in a hurry, you could drive this car to the East Coast and get back again, and it would make it. You just have to pick the pace that it's happy with. So I like that part. I like the fact that, you know, we can actually go somewhere. I don't have to worry about it overheating and stuff like that. So I love that part about it. I love the fact that it's not a worn out old Ford. It doesn't pull when you push on the brakes. The transmission shifts so nice. The rear end doesn't howl. I mean, it's got a cool look and stance to it. So that's the stuff that I love about it.
What about something that maybe surprised you that either that you found out when you went to go buy it, or that you found out now that you've driven it that you're like, probably that'll be the first thing I'll change?
So as cars go through owners, little things get plucked off of it. And as I did a little research, because the car's been for sale a few times, I can see some of the things that were cherry picked off of it. And some of those things are the little details that to me make it just make it a super cool old car. So those are the things, like the original 32 shell got pulled off of it, and the original 32 headlights got plucked off of it, and an aftermarket shell got put on it, and some other headlights. And so I'm gonna change all that stuff back. I'm gonna put up my original shell on it eventually. I've got an original 32 drop headlight bar, soft drop, off of an original headlight bar. I'm gonna put that on it. I want it to be, I want to use as many original vintage parts as I can. So but that's part of the fun, right? So not everybody digs it that way. Somebody did, who put the car together at some point. It's got an unbelievably cool Plymouth dash in it. All the gauges work. Whoever did that got traditional hot rod. That didn't happen by accident. So, turn off the helps much. But
A little bit.
that's the kind of stuff that really I just dig the heck out of it. The 46 Ford wheel, it is so cool. But some of the things I'm going to do is I'll put an adjustable drag link on it so I can get the wheel straight. I'll probably change the ignition switch to an early Ford ignition switch instead of a kind of late model generic-y ignition switch. All those things are things nobody else will probably notice, but I'll notice, and that will make it mine.
So for this kind
That's a
of
ramble fest.
for this kind of car, this is not dipping your toe into the sport. This is an investment. This is an investment car.
For me, it is. Yeah.
I would say for a normal person, this is not.
Yeah, this isn't a $10,000 hot rod.
Yeah. So if you're looking to get into that stage of hot rodding, what are you looking for? What are your things that you're keeping in the back of your mind when you're shopping around?
For me, personally?
Well, yeah, for you personally, because you're, I would say, an expert.
I don't know if I want to say that out loud. I don't think I'm an expert, but I'm definitely a lifelong. Oh, we got an electric car that doesn't stop. Awesome! You just keep on going, dude. So for me, I go off of that gut feeling that you get when you first see a car. You first see it, and it's like, oh man, that's cool, or oh, a swing and a miss. That to me is what it's all about. So I've been looking at, reading, following old car mags and the hobby my whole life, and I get that feeling instantly on whether a car is super bitchin' or if it's a miss. The other pieces is I want a soul. So for me, I want an original chassis. I want real body parts. I don't care if every piece on the car is original, but I want a soul. This car's been around since '32. It's seen World War II. It's seen the dregs of the Depression. It's carried families to a million places. That is the soul. That is so cool, and I love that part. And that's what I dig about hot rods and old cars and stuff. They have a story to tell, and I want to be part of that story. So I'm just the caretaker. I'm the caretaker of this hot rod for right now. Somebody else will get it after I'm gone, and hopefully they won't jack it all up and put a set of billet whatever's on, or put an electric motor in it. I love the electric world. I love that thing. I just hope it doesn't happen to this car. So this is what the 32 four-door sedan looks like from the outside. It is has an interesting treatment in that everything from the belt line down has been refreshed. Fenders have been repainted. The bottoms of the doors have been repainted. The hood, the cowl have all been repainted. But the top of the car is original paint. And there's lots of stories of why it's like that, which I don't really know what the true story is. I don't know who the first person that built it. I've never talked to him, but it's kind of cool, and that's the way it's going to be for a while. And I dig it. It's got a louvered hood, which the last owner did, and it's got dropped headlight bar. Commercial headlights is what I think those are, and it is a deluxe, so it has cowl lights. It's got an aftermarket grill shell, which we'll work on changing that probably down the road, but for now it looks beautiful, and we're not going to get too wound up around that. It's got 40 Ford wheels with Mercury caps, which is just different enough to be very cool from my perspective.
Can I show the rear?
You want to look at the back? You want to look at his bump in the back? You can kind of start to see the transition between the original paint, the original pinstripe, the Brewster green, and the fresh Brewster green, black fenders. It's got, I put a year manufacture plate on it, which is kind of cool in Arizona because they're copper. It's got a really, I pulled out of my stash. We talked a little bit earlier around some of the trinkets that get plucked off. I had an original Allstate locking gas cap, which is just so cool. So I put that on there. Those are the kinds of details that to me make these old hot rods really sing. The back is full bumpered all the way around, and inside mohair interior, nice handles, seat belts in the front, 46 wheel, 34 Plymouth, I think it's 34 Plymouth dash with all working gauges, which is just fits it perfectly. Back seat has enough room for all the buddies. Oh, let me get it. Very comfortable.
And this is where you said you were thinking of doing an inch back?
I might, yeah, I'm probably going to move the seat back just a little bit, gain a little bit of leg room, and make it just a touch more comfortable to drive. I could live with it just like it is without any problem, but I don't think moving the seats back is going to be a huge undertaking. So we'll dive into that. I also want to make all the things like the dome light work. It doesn't have a dimmer switch. The park lights come on when the headlights come on, and so some of those things, that's just not the way I would do it, and it's plenty easy enough to fix. Is it a deal breaker? Absolutely not. It's just not the way I would do it. Car is nice and sound, and I'm happy with it. It doesn't seem to have any leaks and pukes. I mean, it's early Ford drivetrain, so I mean, every other Ford I have leaks, so I would, if this one doesn't, it'll be the first one that doesn't leak.
You want to pop the hood?
Let's pop the hood. Under the hood, it's got a small block Chevy. That's all I'm going to attest to. Supposedly 265, but it's got an oil filter on it, so it's probably not a 265. It does have a road draft tube, so my guess is it's a 283 or a 327. It's got a large harmonic balancer on it, so that makes me question it. It has early non-bolt, non-accessory style heads, but they're not fuelie heads. So, you know, as time goes by, stories change, and that's fine. I wouldn't have cared if it, whatever it had. It runs good, it starts good, it drives good. It probably has some miles on it. Maybe at some point we'll build a really cool 327 for it. And if Brian Willingham isn't careful, the one that I'm storing for him might just accidentally slide off the shelf into something else. And that's fine. But for right now, I get to play with it, and we all get to have some fun. And that's what hot rodding is all about. It puts a smile on my face every time I hop in it. And it's an old Ford. So,
You want to start her up?
Start it up. One thing I have to say, big surprise, 32 Ford hot rod has an emergency brake that works. I don't know if I've ever bought a hot rod that actually had a working emergency brake. So I think that is a pretty good overview for a hot rod deep dive on the new 1932 four-door sedan. Super excited to have it in the family. There's always a price to pay. We'll sell a bunch of stuff to make it happen, and that's just what makes the hot rod world go round. I am jazzed to be the caretaker of it. I'm happy that I was in the right place at the right time to be able to jump on this opportunity and play for Chop Shop Motors, and we'll see you on the next project.